borders with 5 countries. It borders with Russia. It is the longest land border between 2 countries. So we border with Russia in the north, from west to east almost. And then in east we border with China. Almaty is very close to China. 3 hours away from here, you will be in China by car. 3 hours. Then we border with Kazakhstan. You can go directly to China from India. So we border with Kazakhstan. Again, it's very close to Almaty. Again, 3-4 hours you'll be in Kazakhstan. Then we border with Uzbekistan in the south. Uzbekistan, you know, I was actually born in a city called Saragash, which is capital for 7 years. And the 5th country, can you guess? What is the 5th country we border with?
Afghanistan?
No.
Pakistan.
So रुको जरा, सबर करो.
Biggest landlocked country. We don't have access to ocean. But we have 88,000 rivers, 45,000 lakes.
Wow!
And we have Caspian Sea, which is technically not a sea but a big lake. Now, that's about the territory of Kazakhstan. We have 3 metropolitan cities. The biggest one is Almaty, 2.5 million people. The second one is our capital, Astana, 1.5 million people. Astana is very far from here. It is in the north. We are in the south, Astana is in the north. And the third city, Shymkent. That's where I was born. Million people. Just 1 million people. You know, Almaty was a capital. It was a capital until 97. And then our first president, he decided to transfer our capital from Almaty to Astana. For several reasons. The first one, you already know, it's very close to other countries. If someone's gonna attack the capital and, you know, conquer it, then you're done, right? So we moved it further. The second reason is earthquakes. Because we have mountains, this makes it seismic zone. But the earthquakes, you know, the big ones like 9, 10 on Richter scale, they happen every 100 years. So in Japan it happens every 20 years. Here it happens every 100 years or so. Abu Dhabi, in Astana. So that is about the cities. What about people? People living here. Now, as I said, it's 20 million only, but we reached it this year. You know, we were part of USSR, and during that time, we were the least, we were the minority in our own country. Imagine, Kazakh people were only 30% in Kazakhstan, only 30. 70% other nationalities. But this year, we are 70. 70% Kazakh people, which is me. I'm Kazakh, I'm not Chinese. 70%. 15% Russians, and 15% other nationalities, which are more than 90 nationalities. But the franca lingua for those nationalities, like the common language, is Russian. So if I see Azerbaijani person in Almaty, we will speak Russian, because I don't know Azerbaijani, he doesn't know Kazakh. So for us, Russian will be common. because we were all part of USSR back in the days. So that's why you will not see a lot of English speakers in Kazakhstan. Yeah, younger people, of course, they are taught English at schools. But my parents' generation, for example, just I'll also tell you about the history of Kazakhstan. So today we will talk only about the country itself and the city. Almata. Alma means apple. Ata means father. Literally translates to father of apples. Scientists say that the very first apples, they appeared in Almata. And from here it was transferred to other parts of the world. Not what? Nowadays, yeah, we have a lot of apples. Like we have variety called aport, which is supposed to be this big. Aport. Now, probably you will see a lot of wild apples outside of the city. But the season for apples is September, October, that's when you harvest them. Right now they are very, very small. Two places, I mean in the first part of the day, two places. In the evening we will go to Koktobya. So right now we are heading to Panfilov Park. It is a historical park, like a war memorial. Okay? Because when we were part of USSR, we participated in both world wars, World War I and World War II. So we will see the memorials. And in that park, there is the biggest wooden church. It is Orthodox church because the Russians who live here, they are Orthodox Christians. Meaning that their Christmas is not in December, it's in January, 7th of January. So that park's name is very long. 28 Panfilov Guardsmen Park. But we just call it Panfilov Park.
So,
Why?
Jesus was born on 7th January.
Yes. It is the first monotheistic religion in the world. It's older than Judaism. So we were Tengrians. And also we were pagans too. Like we worship nature, Father of Sky, Mother Earth. And then in 8th century, Arabs, they had war with Chinese people. Like they had war with China in 8th century. And Arabs won in that war. That has a lot of resources, natural resources. Oil, gas, minerals, you name it, we have it. We are #1 exporters of uranium to India. We used to have a nuclear polygon, but we closed it. We were the first nation to abandon our nuclear weapons. So to set an example, but it didn't work out. And now we're just telling them hypocrisy, or what is it? Yeah. So we have a lot of resources. We extract them. We export them. We don't have manufacturing. Okay. We don't make things here.
Only raw material.
Just raw materials. And then we get it back in the form of products. Everything you see here is imported. And imported in dollars. Okay? $1 is 470 tenge. And it's growing every day. That means we have a big inflation going on. Like 8 years ago, dollar was only 150 tenge. Now it's 470. So every time when tourists ask, but we thought Kazakhstan is cheap. I mean, Kazakhstan it might be cheap in some things, like service might be cheap, like if you go to restaurant, if you go to like salon, you know, haircut, everything, it might be cheap. But when you buy stuff, it's everything imported, so it's more expensive compared to India, for example. You cannot compare us to Tashkent, Uzbekistan, for example. Their tourism is like 100 years or so. That's why don't judge strictly, you know. Our people, like locals, they are not used to tourists.
Yes.
Especially the tourists who stand out, you know. we have a lot of tourists from Russia and China, but they blend in. You think they might be locals, you know? But like from India, for example, we started having tourists in the past like maybe 2 years, like a big flow of India tourists. And some people might come up to you and say, "Can I take a picture with you?" Yeah, because they are surprised that people coming to Kazakhstan, like, because you know how you usually don't appreciate your own country, because you think, you know, Kazakh people think, I want to go for a holiday, I will go to Turkey, I will go to Dubai, I'll go to Maldives or Thailand, Vietnam, and then we are surprised that other countries are visiting Kazakhstan, you know. But we are getting to know that yes, our country is beautiful and it's interesting. So we're very new to tourism.